Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to a new video. So today we're going to go through a leg workout that's going to help you build muscle and strength in your legs, but we're only going to use fixed resistance machines. Now, why have I chosen this topic? For a few reasons. Now, you might be feeling a little bit under the weather, or your cardiovascular capacity isn't as good. For example, you might have a bit of a cold and you just don't want to do exercises that are going to be very kind of taxing on your aerobic system. So machines are great for that. A little bit more isolation, not as aerobic. That's the first reason. Second reason is that maybe you're traveling and where you're going to only has fixed resistance, right? Reason number two. And reason number three is that you simply don't enjoy doing the big compound squats, deadlifts. Although they are good, you might just not enjoy it. And you need to maybe start your journey by doing stuff that you do enjoy. So fixed resistance tends to be safer. It tends to be a little bit easier. But saying that, you are still able to build really good strength and size in any part of the body. But today we're going to discuss legs. And you just want to start by having a bit of fun and things that you actually enjoy doing. So what we're going to do, we're going to head to the gym and I'm going to run you through what I'm doing, because that's currently me. I'm a little bit not feeling great and I've also had some injuries as well. So for me, squats and deadlifts are just out of the picture at the moment. And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do, how I train, how I structure and plan my workouts so that you can build strong legs, build muscle and still see progress even if you're just using machines. So let's get warmed up, stretched, and let's head to the gym. So just completed my warm up, and I always like to do roughly about 10 minutes on an incline, on a treadmill at about 6% and speed roughly about 4.5 to 5 kilometers an hour. So did that for 10 minutes. And before I go into my first working set, especially when training legs, I always like to jump on the leg extension and perform a warm-up set. Now this is to ensure that you get more blood into the muscles, and especially in the winter when it's cold, just to kind of really warm and prep the body for heavy lifting. So I like to do two exercises: leg extension, 20 reps, roughly about 30% of 1 rep max, and then go to the leg curl for the hamstrings, do the same thing, 20 reps at about 30% of 1 rep max. So let's get that done, and then I'll show you what the first working set is going to be, which is a bit more compound but still being fixed resistance. Right, so now we are going to move on to the hamstring curl. Same thing, 20 reps, roughly about 30% of my 1 rep max. Again, just to kind of fire up the hamstrings a little bit, get a bit of blood into the muscle, and then that will enable me to get a much better first working set when I come to do my compound lift. First exercise, now that we're warmed up, is going to be a leg press. Now it doesn't matter if you do it on a 45-degree angle like this one, or if it's just a straight machine leg press. They kind of all work the same way. Now what is important on here is foot position. So when you tend to put your foot higher on the platform, it's going to target more hamstrings and glutes, especially if you go wide with your stance. It's going to hit the glutes a little bit more. And if you go a bit more narrow and lower down on the platform where you place your feet, that's going to target more your quads, because it's going to elicit more knee flexion. And the more knee flexion you get, the more quads you're going to engage. So I'm going to aim for 3 sets on here of about 12 to 15 reps. It's going to sit to the higher rep range today. Only 3 sets, and I'm going to go for more of a hamstring and glute kind of dominant position, which means, again, feet high on the platform and a little bit wider as well. Right, so now that the hamstrings and glutes have been worked pretty hard, we're going to move on to some isolation hamstring work. So I always like to follow, if I do hamstrings to start, I'm going to also do hamstrings next. I just find that the muscles already very warm, the joints already warm, and also the ligaments and tendons. So it's easier for me, I find, to transition between hamstring and hamstring, and then quads and quads, for example. So next up, we've got the some isolation single leg work. This is now standing, which is a great machine, great exercise to do. I can either do this or do a seated leg curl. Again, very good to isolate the hamstrings, but I prefer this one because it's not very common you've seen in gyms, so we're going to give that a go. And if you haven't got this, you can try the seated hamstring curl. That's also a very good machine. We are back on the leg extension, but this time we're gonna use only single leg. Now this is great if you guys suffer from one quad more dominant, like I do. I used to play football, so my right leg is a lot stronger, a lot more muscle. So single side exercises are very good to sort out any muscle imbalances. So on here, we're gonna just whack one leg to the side and just do single leg extension. Very effective. Make sure you sit further back on the seat to make sure you engage the top end of the quad as well. And yeah, in terms of rep range, I'm going to go for 10 to 12 on here. And this is a great exercise that, you know, really does work, really does isolate the quads, and it's great at building muscle. Last exercise for today, we've got sissy squats, and this one's going to be plate loaded. So again, we're looking for knee flexion here. So that's when basically your knee bends over your toe, and it's going to again target the quads. So I like to go a little bit more high rep on here, and maybe also work till failure. So I like to use the plate, maybe a 15 or 20 plate, do maybe 10 reps and then drop the plate and then just rep out as much as you can. And to be honest, 2 sets is enough. By that, you should be absolutely KO. So give it a go, sissy squats with plate loaded, and then go to fatigue. So that is the workout done. I've just had my protein shake with 5 grams of creatine, and I'm about to go to the supermarket to treat myself to a big, fat, juicy steak. So guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, add them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.